it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in on the nonverbal communication of a emotional manipulator, a narcissist, a psychopath, someone who is trying to throw you off balance, disengage you from your vagus nerve, your heart, your mind, your heart, and your vagus nerve. Basically, the central nervous system nerve that runs from the spinal cord, wraps around the hip, and is at the center of your gut. It's really, your finer instinct. It stores information that you've experienced from day one, and who knows, even before day one. But you have internal hardwiring, which lets you know your natural learning, your natural instincts. In other words, your attuneness to danger. You don't have to read a textbook to know that a bear charging after you with its fangs, is a dangerous animal. You don't have to read in a textbook, excuse me, that walking off a cliff would, would be hurtful to you. You can see the drop off. You can see that if you go there, you are going to fall. You are going to hurt yourself. You are looking at danger. You're looking at devastation. You're looking at destruction. Well, it's important to understand that people can be the same way, especially if you've had a very limited experience with people in life, or maybe you've encountered all sorts of people, and you did not realize that other people can be like that lion, like that tiger, like that steep cliff, where they can basically lead you into impending doom, destruction, and are dangerous. That they can be there not in your best interest, but oftentimes be conciliatory or deceptive, manipulative in nature, and lead you into a space where you are in danger, where you cannot think, behave, and feel for yourself, and that your own natural wiring is tangled up. It is disengaged. It is in a fight or fear or flight basis, very fear-based. The hormones of stress are then running you and ruling your emotions and your decisions, and really you're losing of perspective. Your sense of right or wrong, your own rights, then become sort of disintegrated, because this individual who is emotionally manipulative has either told you, behaved, or treated you in a way that has been manipulative or conciliatory, deceptive in nature. And what are these behaviors looking like, especially on the nonverbal level? Realize that and I'm sort of lumping in malignant narcissist as well as psychopathic behaviors here so you can identify them. For one is really sort of a breaking down of your focus. You have a natural focus in your life, what is good for you, right for you, healthy, happy, fulfilled, what you need to do to be productive, to support yourself. And if you have become in an interdependent or a dependent now relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath, they are basically going to have hovered you or treated you into this dependency, controlled and emotionally manipulated person. And in the beginning, it might have been very pleasurable. You might have been very attracted to this person or looked up to them. Unbeknownst to you, you had put them on a bit of a pedestal, or you were enamored with their charm, their physical body, whatever it is that you were originally attracted to, for yourself. Well, realize that the psychopath, as well as the malignant narcissist, will use a very much of an old school tactic, or like what they would use in, if you think of a takeover of a national enemy, or what's the word I'm looking for? A prisoner of war. So if someone were to take over another person and try to break them down psychologically, they would keep them up. They would deprive them of sleep, food, and information. They would maybe, get them confused with regards to their sense of time, their sense of hunger, their sense of thirst, their sense of what they need from people in terms of validation. They might try to, distract them. They might use torture techniques, like, where they're giving them pain, where they're giving, the very, also very destructive techniques, which is really a psychological takeover, which is, keeping you exhausted and constantly, especially in, what does it look like in today's now, a day and age, where they're constantly texting you, distracting you, sending you videos or texts in inappropriate or pattern interrupt sort of times. In other words, while you're in a meeting, while you're driving, while you're trying to focus at your work, you're trying to use, your full-on intellectual capacity, and you're distracted. Various and sundry times of night, where you're expected to keep your phone under your pillow, and you're not permitted to sleep or enter into sleep because you have to constantly text, send pictures, videos, respond and react to this person. And then, of course, then becomes the manipulative technique where people are arousing your fear or, intimidation or your concern, and then increasing a sort of stress level to you, or paranoia, where they then send you either threatening pictures, pictures that you don't know how to assimilate in your mind. Are you here? Are you there? This suspicious breeding information where they'll keep information hidden from you, or, they'll give you just a peek that something seems awry, something seems askew. So then you'll have to stop what you're doing and focus in on something that seems a little bit off, either the way that the information that they're giving you, or, something is not matching up. There's a cognitive dissonance between what they say and what they do. In other words, you could be married or living with this person, or, you're kind of in that, building of the relationship phase where you're the main squeeze. You guys are, dating. Things are very tight and intense, and a lot of physical chemistry going on, a lot of emotional chemistry, the hormones, oxytocins are going, but then they combine these pleasurable feelings with also fear-based. So then your body becomes confused, and you begin to be basically controlled by this cocktail of fear-based as well as pleasure-inducing hormones. And this begins to put your body on overdrive. Your adrenalines are going, your cortisol is shooting, all the stress hormones are going, coupled with the oxytocin. So you've got the high risk, along with oftentimes the sexual or emotional, or, you could be on a business level where money is involved, and you have a lot of these sundry mixed messages going on, which is really how a psychopath or malignant narcissist is going to control you. The feeling of compulsion, the feeling of addiction is very common. And the feeling of, being distracted, feeling of disreality, feeling like, the answer to your prayers, but you're trying to hang on for dear life. Where, this person becomes more important to you than other people in your life. All of a sudden, your job is not important. Your family is not important. They're meaningless to you. Your sense of hypervigilance is aroused, and you find yourself sort of overreacting, or you find like you're on a popcorn trail to this person, because oftentimes they will also use a planting technique where they'll leave strange and sundry things, or they'll move things around, or they'll make writing literally on the wall, or scratches or holes in the wall. They'll have a planting of, paranoia or suspicious inducing things like woman's lipstick here, woman's nail polish there, male or women underwear places. They're not present. They're not there for other times that you expect them. They're running late. They're running super late. And, they should really, like you're on a business trip and, they're not where they say they are. They'll give you a whole bunch of excuses, and you find that you're, swallowing, this information as if, because you're hanging on to this person for dear life, but they are manipulating you through many of these techniques. And especially the psychopath, they have this pre-calculated from the beginning. I mean, they have no intention of making good on a relationship. They know the capacity for which they're using this person, whether it's for a place to live, a family for their kids to play with, a place to work, whatever it is. This person has a pre-calculated use of this person, and they have little or to very much no emotional connection or attachment with this person. In other words, there is not real love there. There is not a real bond. There is not a real caring. There is not a real concern. So your needs are very much, the mask of fulfilling your needs is there, but eventually the mask will crack, and you'll see that there's a very, cold, like a psychopath will describe as, ice water running through their veins sort of connection with life. And it's not just you, it is with everyone, every situation in their life. It's just, they have no roots. They don't have any emotional connection. They view, life differently. They view emotional meanings differently, from events to words to songs to music to holidays, everything. They have a totally different perception of life and their interaction with it. They view, life as a game, with which they can prey upon. And it's not just like, oh, well, maybe I'll do well here. It's like, how can I exploit and destroy and really be a dangerous takeover to these people? So if you found yourself, really entangled with this person, it is best to get out right away, because these people don't, they don't learn. They oftentimes will get into fights or battles, and then really, because of the neural network, the neural networks in their brain that relate to reward and judgment and conscious and right or wrong, as well as the reward system, that you'll definitely see that if you've gotten into a big fight or spat with them, which most people would, it would be life-changing. They will just forget it as if nothing happened, and then they'll want to continue on with you. And so that's where a lot of people think that this is forgiveness, when it has nothing to do with forgiveness. It has everything to do with emotional manipulation of a psychopathic individual, a interspecies predator, which you most definitely should get away from. It is peace and harmony with you here today. I hope that these videos, that they do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.